Good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, wherever you fine folks may be in the world, be it morning, noon, or night. We've got a special guest this evening. Well, as you can tell where we are now, we're not morning or good afternoon here. We're definitely good evening. Don, what are you at the moment? Good afternoon?
No, we're early afternoon right now. Yeah.
Well, merry early afternoon.
Almost time for tea, I think.
Well, hopefully won't keep you from that. I've just excessively overeaten, actually. if you recognise that voice, and I'm hoping you do recognise the voice. In fact, I know there's a few of you will recognise that voice because that's the voice of Don from Don's Pinball Podcast. Now, before I welcome him officially to our humble podcast, I'm going to tell you a little story, if I may. So we have somebody on the UK forum on Pinball Info called Paul Silva Paolo, and he messaged me, sent me a Facebook voice note, and he said, "Hey, buddy," he said, "just to let you know, there's this guy in the States who just mentioned your video." I said, really? What do you say? He said, yeah, Don's Pinball Podcast. I said, I've heard of this guy. He said, yeah. Anyway, so he sent me over your podcast, listened to it, and there I was. I said, oh, wow, that's great. And I think I messaged you. I messaged you on Facebook and said, oh, thanks for the message. And then about 2 or 3 weeks later, Paul, who's Silva Paolo, messaged me again. He said, voice note again. He said, hey, buddy, how you going? He said, just to let you know, Don's mentioned you again, but this time he's interviewing Spooky, and they discussed your video. So I've got to thank Paul. Thank you, my friend, and welcome to you, Don, mate, and thank you very much indeed.
Oh, yeah, great lads all around, those Spooky guys, yeah. Yeah, but I like that video comparing the value of Scooby-Doo, particularly in the European market versus, say, the Foo Fighters Premium that came out over here, because your market is completely different from what we have over here at the States, with import fees and value-added tax and all that. So
it's a weird one because we have a fee that you guys don't, and that is we've got an extra middleman, because I think in the US Stearns ship straight to the distributors and then they go straight to the end user. Well, here we have an importer in the way as well, who takes puts another premium on top of it. So Stern go through an importer, and then the importer goes through to the distributors and then on to the end user. So there's an extra step in the chain that incurs a little bit of an extra tax, shall we say.
Yes, but only on Stern, funnily enough.
Only on Stern.
The JJP, the CGC, and of course the Spooky and all the others, and they come in, which is why it's competitive. They're more competitive, and I really appreciated you from that side of the pond actually talking about it on your podcast, actually, because even that video that I did a video about the I think it was the price of pinball. I can't remember whatever I labeled the video, but there was a few people from there on the state saying what you're saying is not true. Stearns are cheaper than some of the others. So yeah, I mean it does sort of inflate the market somewhat. That's for sure. Don, I've got to thank you for coming on. Just tell us before we start. We'll do it now and we'll do it at the end. Tell us about your podcast before we get started, please.
Sure. So I'm a guy that kind of always liked pinball, right? Coming up in the arcades, I split my time between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 2 and then the wall of pinball machines, right, at the mini golf place. And so always had in my head, wouldn't it be great to have one of these machines at home, either renting one or whatever. And then I started figuring out that people actually were doing that, starting their own home arcades. So 2.5 years ago, I brought myself home a Stern Dark Knight, and that kicked the whole thing off. Pretty soon I'm lifting play fields, I'm soldering wires, I'm repairing buttons and just having a blast. And then all the time I'm listening to this, community of podcasters creating this content. And, it's just great hearing, other people's opinions. That's where I was hearing rumors about new games that were coming out and getting excited about them. And then around January of this year, I said, heck it, I think I'm going to just jump on and start this. I wanted to get back into the creative space. And so, knowing nothing better or why I shouldn't do it, I jumped in and just started recording a solo podcast. And I just put up episode 74, this last week. I put up 2 to 3 shows a week, just talking about, the news, the rumors, any kind of, thing that crosses my mind. And like other people have been digging it, which is awesome.
Well, they have.
Yeah. I listened to well, it's quite funny. We sent each other links last night. So yeah, just checking out what you've been doing. So I checked out Don's podcast last night. I had listened to little bits of them before, but I checked out a couple of podcasts last night, and I know he's been genning up on our stuff, and it's really, really good stuff. Very listenable. Very listenable.
Well, you've got a great enthusiasm for pinball, and I think not only that, a great enthusiasm for the community of pinball as well, Don, which is really clear, really resonates and comes through in your podcast. But it's quite clear, because I know the answer to some of these, but I'm aware there'll be some people that don't. It wasn't just that you got into pinball 2.5 years ago when you got that. So you got the Black Knight. You got Steve Ritchie's Black Knight. Is that what you got?
No.
The Dark. Oh, you got the Batman, the Dark Knight.
Batman, Dark Knight. Yeah.
Okay, but
your movie-based one, yeah.
Yeah, but your first taste of pinball, your journey is not dissimilar to mine in that sense, because it was actually when I met Spencer not met Spencer, I'd known Spencer for years. When Spencer bought a Theatre of Magic, I realised you could actually own a pinball machine. But it was really interesting listening to your stories. Back your dad, Dinah and Elvira when you met your wife, and that sort of thing was really interesting as well.
Yeah, pinball's been there at like certain pivotal points in my life. There was some game that, was at that corner diner, and, I didn't have a car or much money, but I had a few quarters and some time, and I spent it with Elvira and my wife. So, what better way to spend the time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's important to mention your wife as well. Yeah. So where are you now? Where are you now, Don, with these magnificent pinball machines behind you? What sparked this from thinking I'm going to get into this to this? You've now clearly got the disease.
Yeah, I've lost the plot completely. Yeah. It's like I was wandering, through the woods, and then I happened upon a convention center and just opened the door, and all of a sudden, like, here's this whole world I had no idea was at this level, just ready made. Like, here, run through the Wonderland. It's like Willy Wonka opening the door to his chocolate factory, and like, here's all the wonders, Augustus. Go jump in. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm up to 10 machines at District Dawn Arcade here in my basement. Now I'm starting to rotate them out. I'm finding other buyers. I have a knack for, kind of modding these things out, powder coating them, trying to get them, as nice as I can. And then, gift them on to new homes. And that's how we're going to keep it fresh, I think.
What? So you are looking to move a few on and then update your collection as much as you can, right?
Yeah. I've got a Halloween coming out because Venom Premium will be here on Friday. Stranger Things was just dropped on us, and that's what I've been waiting, a year and a half for this rumored rerun, and so I've got to make room for that. Lebowski came in and bumped out Rick and Morty. It's been chaos down here, and I love it.
Yeah, well, we're going to get onto Lebowski later on, because I understand we've got a shared love for this remarkable. What can I say? It's this remarkable beast of a pinball machine, which probably weighs more than all the rest of your pinball machines all put together.
It's a heavy machine, isn't it? Holy cow.
Yeah, it really is. I'm very, very interested, though, in about what you're doing there, because we'll get onto some of the future releases, because clearly you've gone within your podcasting from getting that Dark Knight, having one machine, to having 10. Now you're getting rumors early. I clearly know this is happening, and you've just got a sponsor, a channel sponsor. Bear in mind, we do have a bit of a US audience as well. Why don't you give them a plug as well?
Perfect. Yeah. So Jeff over at Mad Pinball, he's been my distributor since he showed up in the Facebook thread with a Godzilla Premium at cost back when the waiting list for about a year long. He's out of Akron, Canton, Ohio area. But yeah, he's got, I found a distributor that doesn't have, years long waiting list for his games. So we've had a great relationship, and he's been just as responsible for this behind me as I have. We just have other own poor decisions, but yeah, he's a good guy to know in the hobby.
Yeah,
he'll have a list out the door now.
So they're at badpinball.com. Email Jeff at badpinball. Let him know you're looking for new and used.
There you go.
He knows just about everything. So yeah, he's got it.
And does he distribute all throughout the States? Does he?
Absolutely, yeah, which works out great for me. Especially because a lot of these new in box games will ship, drop ship directly from the factory to the doorstep. So yeah, it's been great.
No, brilliant. Well, there you go. Now you've got it covered in the UK with Pinball Heaven, and we've got it covered in the US as well. You're going to the expo My friend Tony's over there at the moment. He's going to the expo as well. How much are you looking forward to that? I don't even know. Is that your first one, or did you go last year?
I went last year, and I was just kind of, fly on the wall. What's this like? Who are these people? Wow. And so now I'm coming as like, an invited guest. I'm doing a panel Thursday afternoon. We're going to be talking in conjunction with Mad Pinball and some other distributors about pinball marketing. But I'm going to be hitting the ground running Wednesday night with that event at Interium, which is currently the only place I know of Pulp Fiction is on location. So I've been frequenting that place. What a fantastic game that is. So it kicks off then, and then Thursday is going to be the panel discussion. Friday we're finding out what JJP's got. Saturday I think is the pizza party with Mystery Pinball Company. So are we going to see? Is it Labyrinth? Is it the Muppet Show? Is it something completely different? But I'm stoked for the whole thing. I'm going to have prize packs to give away to people. We're coming up with other gift baskets. I'm going to be live streaming from other manufacturers' booths. It's going to be nuts. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, what an undertaking and what a journey in those 2.5 years. Let's talk about this Mystery Pinball Company, because as I understand it, listening to your podcast, you've seen some pictures of the underside of the playfield. What is this here?
These are the promotional stickers, man. These showed up in my mailbox the other day for Mystery Pinball, along with that worksheet that we could download and fill out. But yeah, they've been doing some email subterfuge, keeping us updated. And so one of the last news drops we got, there was photos of the bottom of the playfield. There was a line of empty cabinets at a factory somewhere ready to go. So there's at least 8 work in progress games that we can see, but it looks fairly loaded with mechanisms, and looks like not everything was even installed yet. There may have been room for an upper playfield, but still all speculation. But then did you guys see the George Jr. worksheet that was released?
No, I've not seen. I mean, I've listened to your podcast on Spotify, so I was very aware that, particularly during one of them when you were. I mean, I know you were interviewing another guy, great guy as well. It was a no, he puts pins on location, doesn't he? And yeah. But obviously, I was aware that you were showing each other things during it. But obviously, I was just listening on Spotify, so I didn't see anything.
Oh, yeah, you can hit the Nap Arcade's got a whole rundown of everything, and he's published everything that's been emailed out. He's on the email list, too. But yeah, the conventional thinking is Labyrinth, given the clues. Rock and Roll was in there, Mystery. There's a Labyrinth in the worksheet, and then also something about the hour, the 13th hour is here, and that features in the film too. So, but who knows? Who knows? I know there's going to be pizza. That's what I know for sure. And everything else is speculation at this point, but yeah, I'm excited. What if it's a brand new machine that's released at Expo with machines in box ready to go? I mean, that would be fantastic.
Wow, wouldn't that be a novelty?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, rather than an elongated waiting list. Do you know anything about the company? Do you know any of the people involved who set it up? Where's it based? Is it that mysterious that they honestly have earned the name Mystery Pinball? Completely
no idea. I know that the sticker packs that I got were postmarked from Colorado, so maybe that's where they're from, or maybe that's just where they had some operative. But I've seen the stickers show up around the country. I was out in Arizona at Electric Bat Arcade in Tempe, and I saw some of these. So they've been seeding for a while. And at first it was like, okay, great, a rumor of another new pinball company, like we don't have enough of those, shoveling vaporware, whatever, but now there's actually pictures of cabinets. Something may actually come out. I'm optimistic.
I think it's really good. The more manufacturers, the better. Good and bad to a degree. Anybody that's putting a machine out there, that's got to be good for the market, because competition is always good. It improves everything.
But marketing, you say about marketing, Spence, marketing, not great. I find not great in the pinball sector.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, they couldn't market themselves out of a paper bag. They really couldn't. And the other silly thing about it is it's far too cloak and dagger for what it is. I mean, I don't think anywhere else, you don't find camera companies, you don't find Panasonic sort of keeping their new camera under wraps to such a degree and not telling anybody when they're going to be released. And come on, guys. just get it out there. Tell people what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. I was hearing you talking about this, Don, as well. With recently, and saying but that's basically how it's always been done. And, so they just sort of continue doing it like that. And there was talk about licensing and how licensing could change. And, maybe you're speculating that the price could change if they discuss these things. But even when it's not a license, funny enough, like Black Knight's Sword of Rage or something like that, where there's really no reason to be secretive about it at all, they're still bloody secretive about it.
Right. And I get that maybe, they don't want to cannibalize current sales of a game with, some like future game that's going to have even bigger draw. It's the reason why, theme parks don't reveal their next ride until way late in that season, because they don't want people to put off their Disney trip for a year knowing something great is coming. But still, at least, we usually know ahead of time, if you watch the industry, kind of an idea of what's coming, maybe not all the details or whatever. And, I wonder how much of that is just a tenuous relationship with the licensor. Maybe the licensor will, change what assets they want. So they don't want to promise the public something's going to show up for it to not be there in the final product. I mean, people are still talking about the triple spinning disc from Pirates that never materialized in the final finished production game, So, how many mechanisms were going to be there at one point and then end up getting, trashed for whatever reason. And then that would be the thing that people would remember, but I don't know. A lot of it, I think, is just because that's how it's always been done.
Maybe, yeah. I totally take what you say about them not wanting to, as you say, cannibalize future sales. I think a lot of us have done it with Pulp Fiction, for instance. So because again, okay, we now know Pulp Fiction's going out, then we're not going to purchase these other ones. But that's where I think they've been smart. So, CGC, obviously they're doing it with Raw Thrills. But I think that's very, very smart, because what they've managed to do is by announcing their game almost far earlier than it was ever going to be ready. So I seem to remember them announcing it. It was about the same time. I seem to remember Scooby-Doo and Godfather. Yep. There was this...
There was a crazy 2 weeks, wasn't there, where just everything got announced. All in one hit.
Yeah, Foo Fighters was the first. Foo Fighters was the first to be announced. And then all the others came. But I just thought... and everything else has been made. Everything else that was announced, Galactic Tank Force, that was another one. The only thing that's not available to buy right now, and you're not going to get it now, is Pulp Fiction. But I thought that was smart marketing, actually. So that's the reverse of what you said. So that's actually a company cannibalizing everyone else's sales, because there were things I might have looked at. There's no doubt about it. I was looking at that Godfather and I was thinking, oh, maybe, just maybe. And then that Pulp Fiction went, right, that's it, and nothing else. Nothing else is going to be bought between now and Pulp Fiction. Of course, I didn't know that Lebowski, what was going to happen with Lebowski at that point.
Same. I ended up with one too, just out of nowhere, just serendipitous.
You've not had it long now, have you?
No, just it's been a few weeks now. I mean, I wasn't planning on getting rid of Rick and Morty, but then I found a great trade, negotiated through Mad Pinball just with his connections, and made the swap, and gosh, I love this game.
Oh, it's a great game. I mean, Chris is in love. I've only played it a few times. I played it last year, and I played it at we have an event every year in the UK called Pinfest, which is a sort of 3 or 4 day pinball convention. And I played it quite a lot there. And it's great. My first game, I think I got 13 million on it, which is not an unreasonable score.
No.
But I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Fantastic that kit.
Well, I think that the second or the third batch have just arrived in the UK at Pinball Heaven. I've got some friends who have received them today, and funny enough, I was just telling about the flipper alignment, because I actually had two here at the same time. So one of them was I had two Big Lebowskis. I don't know how that works, but one of them I took to Pinfest, and then this one that's behind me there, I got that one. And as soon as I switched that one on, it was playing differently. I thought, oh, hold on, I wasn't able to hit the water ramp very well. I thought, well, I'd already tweaked the sort of flipper power. So I think on my one, on the left flipper, I think I've got it at 32, and I think I've got the right flipper at 31. I've got my medium hold. So you could, I like the menu. The menus are very good on it. I think they're using P-Rock system. But the shots were completely different. And because I had both of them here, I thought, I'm going to have a little look at the one I had originally. And I took a picture of it and brought it back in here. The flippers were a lot further down on here. So I corrected them. to exactly right. And I basically shared the information with the guys today, and they've moved them. So this is, I'll send you the picture. This is optimum. I've decided, having played it time and time again, this is optimum flipper alignment. I don't know whether it's meant to be there, but I absolutely love it, and I'm killing the game. But look, one thing I can say about that is I was speaking to a. I'll be a little bit coy. I think I was speaking to a premium mod maker. Let's put it that way.
All right.
King of mod makers. Maybe I've gone too far. I haven't. He is, but I'm probably giving it all away now. And he was saying, "What do you think about mods for this game?" So, man, they've done such a great job. There's almost. I say almost. There's almost nothing more that you can add to this, because these guys love pinball. I think they love pinball machines. They clearly love the Big Lebowski, and everything that they do, every little thing has a flourish, and everything looks finished. And just even looking at it earlier when people were asking for some pictures for the flipper alignment, I was even just looking at the back box. There's no T-molding on the back box. They've just finished the words. And it's just absolutely magnificent. So you're loving it, Don.
Oh yeah. And I'll tell you what I like about this game is it's kind of like a theme park. Like the machine itself, the play field has little neighborhoods. I find when I'm playing, sometimes I'm in the mood to go for the character shots, and I'm kind of playing low on the flippers. Other times I want to go play up on the upper play field and just, I want to do bowling, or I want to beat up the car or something. Other times, it's all about rug modes, and it's like you can kind of, as opposed to a Godzilla where it's everything everywhere all at once. Games like Big Lebowski or like Scooby-Doo, like you can just kind of, whatever your mood is, that's where you can kind of play it, and that's fun for me. And then the soundtrack's amazing, the call outs are great, the shots feel satisfying, nothing feels cheap or clunky. It's all integrated well. And then the build on the cabinet is amazing. Just like the woodworking, when you like, this is the first time I've had one where I can lift the play field and take a look at the dang thing. Like, geez.
The interesting thing is both them and actually everybody except Stern has really good quality wiring under their playfields. The gauge of the wiring on there is fantastic. The woodwork, as you say, the materials they've used, the thickness of the back glass. I mean, it's ridiculous. It doesn't need to be anywhere near that thick, but my God, some the quality, feel the weight. It's just amazing. Really is.
You could feel where the money is in that. Yeah. Most definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really, really important. And I think when you're looking at that and you are looking to spend money, and I think because everything has become expensive, almost everything. I've got to say, Pulp Fiction is really
price is great.
Oh, I mean, I don't want to. The price might have moved on since I checked prices here, but it was basically about £8,500. It basically, Pulp Fiction is the same over here as a Stern Pro.
Yeah, that's
might even be a little bit less.
Mad.
Yeah.
And there's no comparison. Well, I mean, look, I haven't seen it yet, but you can tell us all about it because you're going to go and see it next week. But you can see it's packed. You can see they put everything into it, and you can see it's been loved. And I would compare that to that as well, because they clearly both love making pinball machines. And it's not that. It's funny. It's not that doesn't happen at other companies. So I think it's fair to say, I think you'd probably say that maybe someone like Jack Danger probably, or Keith Elwin loves making pinball games. Yeah. They love making a game of pinball, and the games, and they shoot so well. But them in themselves are not responsible for the entirety of the machine. And I think that's probably the difference. This is a complete, that love has gone into every bit of timber, every screw, every bolt. Whereas they've just, rather than just being the game. Speaking of which, I've been really enjoying Foo Fighters recently. I know that's something you've been speaking about quite a bit on your podcast, Don.
Yeah, no, it's fun. The code update just came out. There's the final wizard mode is there. So I just went ahead and just put my game into 10 balls just so I could explore, that deep into the code, because I'm not a high level player. I'm all right, but there was no way I could get through that wizard mode unassisted. But yeah, what a satisfying game as far as the shots. It's tight and technical, but it flows well. When you get it, it's pretty satisfying. So I do like that game. I know we got rumors about the topper coming out soon. People are talking about the second coming of the Black Knight topper, only with the Foobot head. So I'm excited about that. Yeah. Somebody went into the code and saw a couple of lines of code for a topper mode and then topper head. So we're thinking,
what a pinball folk like. Honestly, no one who's going to go in there and say that is amazing. That is dedication.
So some of these people do need to get out more, and probably shouldn't be allowed to cross the road unassisted. Most of them.
I'm pleased we know.
Yeah, bless them.
That was a great topper. That was a topper worthy of. In fact, I'm going to ask you now. I'm going to digress a little bit. So I was on the forum earlier, which is Pinball Info, and somebody was selling a whitewater. And I think it was somebody else, and they said, "Oh, whatever. Oh, I might buy that." And someone said, "I don't think it's got the original topper." I think it's about the worst topper in pinball. I love Whitewater. Whitewater is an amazing game. I think it's one of the best.
Shit topper.
It would be one of my favourite. I would probably be in my top. Definitely be in my top 10. Bally Williams might be considerably higher than that. But what are your thoughts on that Whitewater topper?
Just that blown plastic look that it's got. Yeah, it looks like the case that the topper is supposed to come in. Is what it kind of looks like.
That's right. It's good. Yeah.
Did you guys see, like in the 1980s? I know out here we had Budweiser and Coors signs that would be on the walls of bars, and they were animated with fiber optic effects, like waterfall, Colorado scenes. I think someone doing like a retro inspired topper like that for Whitewater would really fit. I'd like to see that, but. I mean, what would an original Whitewater topper even go for? Like something ridiculous, probably for what it is.
Well, I don't know.
The original price was ridiculous for what it is, but yeah.
And I've often seen people marveling at it and thinking, "Oh, yeah, that's great with the water effects." I'm just thinking that's
no,
that just looks like tin foil, aluminium foil. That just looks like foil. It's not. I like that. It looks like the box it should have come in. Yeah.
Or like this
emptying it. Where's my topper?
Or like a merchandise display at the supermarket for like a packet of crisps or something like that would be on top.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's a temporary display.
Yeah. That's it. Speaking of which, you get. I say speaking of which, got nothing to do with it, but just when you said supermarket packet of crisps, made me feel hungry and made me think about Tesco's. You've been over to the UK, and I missed you.
Yeah. We swung through London there. I hit all the sites. I rode the tube around. I went to the Shrek experience. Nice. I made sure I went to all the cultural, touch points of the UK. But no, we had a good time. The Harry Potter shop. We were on a just transiting in and out of Europe from our summer trip last year. Love the UK. Want to get back. I haven't been to Alton Towers in like 5 or 6 years. I need to get back there. But yeah, I mean, I started this travel hobby just, with the theme park hobby that I had, theme parks and roller coasters. So, I've been from Chessington to Blackpool. But we're kind of jonesing for another trip back to the UK to do like a proper tour.
Aren't our roller coasters crap compared to yours?
Not Nemesis. Are you kidding?
No. But Nemesis rates pretty highly.
Yeah.
Towers is
just about everything in Blackpool. It's like some of our favorites.
I've been on the Pepsi Max big one, which was terrifying. Yeah. It just forever. It goes like that, and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm getting higher. I'm getting higher here." And you,
it's called the big one. You know that, don't you?
Well, I do, and you can see just before you get to the top. I'll give you a spoiler here. I've been on that with Lily Savage. Right to the top, and then you can actually see where they play the Open, the Golf Open. Sometimes back at Royal Lytham St Anne's, which is not close. I can see the golf course from here, and that's a long way away. And then nasty.
The big one.
Is that the noise you made?
I don't know. All those people that are doing that, you think, oh no.
Thor Park's a bit rubbish, but once you get out past the Midlands, it picks up.
Yeah. Well, I'm right next to Thorpe Park. 20 minutes from Thorpe Park, where we are here. So, moving on to there's something I really do want to discuss, but I'm sort of saving it for a little bit. Let's let's talk about what we were expecting to see. I say we, I mean you. What you're expecting to see at the expo. So I want to really talk about these rumored releases. So Elton John, maybe. Is that going to be released? And I know you were speaking on your podcast. They seem to have a special section set aside to maybe discuss that. What are you expecting to be revealed? Number of games, right?
I mean, yeah. So Jersey Jack, I was speculating that they would probably be ready because I think the Godfather CEs, I'm thinking of their line and their production, and the collector's edition of Godfather should be just about wrapping up, I would think. And then I don't know that there's going to be another run of the limited edition, given that there's a lot of supplies still available. So they're going to need something to put on the line fairly soon, I would think. So I was speculating like we may actually, see something from them. And then, they went ahead and announced on the 19th, they'll have a special hour carved out. And we got that photo of a silhouetted pinball machine with some purple glitter coming down, which, in my heart, I want Purple Rain. But, my experience has been when rumors are as consistent as this, it's going to be Elton John. And it's supposed to be from Steve Ritchie, Mr. Shao Kahn, Mr. Black Knight himself. Not the theme I would have picked for him. But, I'm hoping to be surprised. But I think I kind of see there's probably a greater than likely chance that they're going to reveal this game, pull the curtain away, and there's just going to be like a kind of a sigh throughout the room. Then we're like, okay, fine. What does it shoot like? But it's not like stirring a lot of like passion and excitement for it. I hope
no,
but
which means it could be good. That the reverse thing is that it's like the big build up to something and it's never very good, or it's like that the best night you ever had was the one you never intended on going on, where someone said, "Do you fancy joining me for?" Yeah, okay, let's go, and you end up having the best night of your life. I do wonder if it's that last minute booked holiday ends up being the best holiday you've ever had, and I just wonder if there's people are so sort of down on it. Oh, Elton John, but actually whilst he might not be everyone's favourite artist, his back catalogue is amazing.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can't argue with that back catalogue. There's going to be some good tunes on there. And if they mix it with a half decent pinball, then it's going to be a good machine. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, can it sustain the excitement of a fast action pinball machine, though? Tiny Dancer, Candle in the Wind,
Tiny Dancer, no, Candle in the Wind. No, absolutely, your song. I think he might leave those. But one of my favourite lyrics in all of music is in Goodbye Yellow Brick Road when he says hunting the horny black toad, which is not an animal I've ever seen. But it could go either way. But he's got a great.
It's a bit like Elton John, really. For a long time, he could have gone either way.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But now we know. I don't know. I suspect it'll be better than something. And I'm pleased Pat Lawler's not on it, because I can't think of a single Pat Lawler game that I've ever enjoyed, really. So Steve Ritchie is I'd be really interested. If they've sorted out their flippers, that's going to be, which I believe. Have you played Godfather, actually, Dom?
I have, yeah. I haven't got my hands on a CE yet, but man, that would be the version I would want. I don't think it's a bad game by any means.
Sure.
For what it is and what the price was, I wasn't interested in becoming an owner. But I have enjoyed it when I played on location. But like when I look at the finishes that they put on that collector's edition with just the gold chrome, everything, how it's ostentatious it looks. I think that fits. I like the rad cows on the side of the cabinet. I like the gold lions. The topper's amazing. So, I'm a fan of that build of that game. The MSRP, though, I couldn't see eye to eye for me for personal ownership. But yeah, not a bad game. And, with Elton John, I don't know that we're going to get, the fast action of a Black Knight or a high speed type game, but we're probably going to have a game that's more experiential, like you lock in a scoop and then the music crescendos and the lighting show plays out. Like that's probably going to be the big draw of the game, I would think. If I was designing it, that's kind of, what I would picture rather than just, fast nonstop action, or something like Stern from the Beatles. Or
I wonder if he can't help himself, though. I think maybe Steve Ritchie. I heard you talk on one of your podcasts about a Star Wars topper. So have you got a Star Wars?
Right here, dude. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So Small Street. There you go. R2 on top. I don't think Richie can help himself. I think he won't be able to help himself. He's going to make this really fast machine.
Are we going to have like Elton John call outs? More tokens, more. Like...
Yeah. But it's gonna be Crocodile Rock's gonna be Saturday nights all right for fighting. It's gonna be explosions. Like when he came out with the LA Dodgers top on at whatever gig that was, and it was always jumping. I think it might be high octane stuff if he does it, because there is enough of that stuff there.
Rather than powder coat, it'll just be sequined side rail armor.
I wouldn't that be a thing? Wouldn't that be a thing?
I'd have that. I've done my Batman 66 is pink. So
if Steve Ritchie doesn't come out behind the curtain with a feather boa, it's a missed opportunity, I think.
Actually, wouldn't that make a great topper? Just a feather boa across the top,
Yeah.
That'll be the shooter rod. It'll be 4 feet long, a feather boa.
That would be that would be good. That would only be slightly more annoying than the Lord of the Rings shooter rod I used to have, which looked great because it was Gollum, but actually practically it was just terrible. It was I've really scaled it down with the shooter rods.
What were we playing around at? I think it was. Game of Thrones had the hound as the shooter rod, the dire wolf as a shooter rod. Was it Game of Thrones?
I think it was a German Shepherd. Dog.
Oh, well, yeah, it was only that big, so it wasn't. It
bit me. Yeah,
it was bloody awkward.
Some of them are. Some of them are. So I was just before we move on to other titles, I was interested in your take. It wasn't a classic film for you. The Godfather. You seem to arrive at The Godfather quite late, Don, and you were not impressed with Michael Corleone, as I remember.
I don't know. I saw the movie on a plane. It's good for what it is. Looking at it with the lens now, though, there's some cringy moments. Don't sit.
It doesn't stand the test of time very well.
Yeah, and I'm glad they didn't put that mode in the game, unless it's coming with a code update where you go to Italy, seduce a village girl and then drag her away from her family against her will, and then mistreat her in the U.S. But maybe we weren't supposed to identify with the character. Maybe that was part of Scorsese's vision.
Well, you could have a nice ending. Repatriate the girl multi-ball, which I think is
repatriation.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. So what else have we got there? So we got the mysterious pinball. We think it's probably Elton John.
Or Labyrinth.
Stern aren't going to release anything aside from Stranger
Stern's
Things.
Big surprise. Yeah, Stern's big surprise was that big hole in the production schedule for November, and that Stranger Things filled it. I'm so excited about that.
Go Stern.
I can't.
Why? I listen. I've listened to your podcast, but I'm going to assume not everyone has for the moment. Why are you excited about that?
So I like the projection mapping on the premium. The first time I saw that, I was still kind of like new into pinball. And I'm like, okay, I've heard about this Stranger Things game, but I haven't played it. I wasn't really familiar with the mechanisms. And walking up, the first thing I saw was, a swirling projection on a spinner. And that blew my mind. And then I figured out, there's a projector in this. And it's projecting all these shots and things. And then most of the ones on location are the pros. And then the game wasn't very popular at release, so they didn't make a whole lot of them. So the ones that I've played have been good, but I haven't got that, good hold on the premium. And the prices it was commanding were, a wall between me and actually owning one of these things. So I said, if they ever do run these for a reasonable price, I'm going to jump on them. And I've been on a list for like a year or so with several different distributors. But yeah, I'm excited to finally get one. I got the topper right now. It's sitting on top of Elvira, waiting for the Stranger Things to come. But playing that game in my home, like with the code all fleshed out now and the mood and that game has, I'm really excited about.
When it goes into the upside down, all the UV stuff comes. I mean, it's just, it's lovely. I like the game. Chris isn't a big fan of it, but I really like it.
But it's too fast. I think it's the most atmospheric game. Probably, I can't think of a more atmospheric game. It's the one game I will play with the lights off, which is probably why I can't hit the shots. But I think it needs to be to get the full projector. I was lucky enough to have an LE for a while, for a few months. And I think to get the full UV experience, it is, and that whole if you've got the bassy speakers on as well, not the paper ones, but if you've got the good speakers on there as well, it really is very, very basic. No, I think it's a really There's a lot to like about that machine. My problem is it's too fast for me. So it's just too fast. And I suspect, I mean, I know you've got Venom. You said you've got Venom coming. I look at Venom, looks too fast for me as well, and the shots look too tight. So for Houdini would be a great example. I look at Houdini, I think, oh, I love that. I'd love to be good enough to play Houdini, but the shots are too tight. So I just can't. I can't. I'm gonna have to move on to something else. And that's really, it's not. I love the series. I just wish. I guess I wish Stranger Things had a different layout or was slightly different. But the Demigorgon, the UV, the projector, it was an innovative game, no doubt.
The Demigorgon shot is great. The Demi flange,
but that got a lot of stick when it came out. Actually,
yeah.
The Demigorgon when the wasn't. I don't know why people were saying it was too hard to. Actually, I found that one of the things I could do on the game was hit that shot.
Yeah, I'm a simple man. You give me a ramp that flaps down with projections and a big gargoyle to bash at, and the hole right in its mouth. I mean, it's perfect. And to have that game at home where I know the mechanisms are going to be working, it's going to be leveled properly, it's going to play a whole lot better than a pro in a bar or something where it's unlevel and the drop targets aren't working or something. So I'm excited about it. And it's not $16,000 on the secondary market. So
yeah. I don't know the pricing on it. How much have they put it up? Is it comparable with other Sterns?
Yeah. They're straight MSRP. So the $69.99 and the $97.99 for the premium, which just decimated the secondary market.
$6,900 for the pro.
Yeah. So $7,069.99.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and there you go. And that's why you do get a totally different comment from people on the videos who are in the States saying, "What?
What's that like 5,200 pounds or something, right?" Or
yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't be, but it'd be £8,500, I'd imagine, over here, which would be whatever that is in dollars. So
it's about 1.3 at the moment. So.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of extra. That's for sure.
I do need to come to the UK, man. That's pretty good. Pretty good for us.
Is it? Yeah, for you. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to think. Let's just touch on the Pinball Brothers, because it's something that people might not have heard, and again, something you were talking about in your podcast on. What have you heard that they might be doing? Because they've moved to the new facility, bigger facility in Italy.
Right. Yeah. So, that's definitely going to help their production numbers and things. I haven't heard exactly what they're doing other than there's going to be something, whether that's, an announcement. It could be another run of games, could be another version of something, could just be new code. I really haven't heard, that they're bringing a new machine or that they're announcing a remake, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was any one of those things. So they're in my maybe column. I don't know if there's actually going to be a new game or new product from Pinball Brothers, but they should be there with something more than just a bunch more queens and aliens again this year.
Yeah, I mean, that Alien was just, I really liked it. I mean, I really liked Alien. And I was lucky enough to have one here. My only problem, the flippers just don't feel right on those games.
No, they don't.
And I had the same with all the JJPs, but apparently, this is what I heard, how true it is, I don't know. Since Steve Ritchie went in, he sorted them out, and actually the flippers apparently are a lot better on Godfather. I'd love to play Godfather. I'd absolutely love to, but apparently the flippers are better.
They are, absolutely. Yeah. They're a lot more snappy than, what we're used to from Toy Story and basically everything else.
Yeah, they I don't know if I don't want the right description. How would you describe the flippers, how they used to be on JJP? A bit floaty, bit, I don't know.
Floaty, yeah. I think they're fine. Like they're designed for the shots in the game, but when you're coming from a stern, which is just very snappy, it feels like soft or weak, or like the coils are too hot. You have to get used to that. I had a Guns N' Roses here for a while. That was the game I traded Dark Knight for. And so once I got used to it, it felt okay, it made sense to me. But just it's like jumping from the hot tub into a pool, like it's a little bit of a shock.
That's right. I don't know what I think the JJP might be the hot tub, and I think the stern might be the freezing cold pool. But nothing. I think nothing shoots. I don't think anything quite shoots. Like
flipper shrinkage is involved for sure. So,
that definitely was some shriveling going on. And unfortunately, not with the prices. No, I mean, but like Foo Fighters, and I know this was interesting to hear you say this. I know you prefer Godzilla to Foo Fighters, and I totally get your reason. I don't have time to play Godzilla, so ultimately Foo Fighters stays. But I'm not sure anyone else could have built Foo Fighters because it shoots so well. They really do. The ramps and flippers and stuff like that. I mean, I don't think anyone beats Stern for that stuff.
Yeah, to hit that crossfield orbit off the upper flipper and then have it snake on back down through. It's just perfect. Love it.
Yeah. It works.
Yeah,
it works. That upper flipper just works on Foo Fighters, and I've become. Yeah, well, it's still here. They don't last. Honestly, they don't last with me, Don. If I don't like a game, they very, very seldom last very long at all. Which brings me on to something else that I really did want to discuss. And I must be honest, I wasn't sure whether to discuss it or not. But the rumours out there, and I don't know if there's any truth to it at all.
Oh no,
I'm worried.
Well, it was about what Spencer got caught doing last week. No,
yeah, absolutely. That's all over the internet. It's my wife and family are standing by me at this very difficult time.
Absolutely. It's the rumor of Back to the Future.
Right. Not the perennial rumor. Yeah.
Have you know the rumor, Don?
Yeah. So this has been kicking around as long as the Stranger Things redo has been. First it was, of course, Elwyn is doing it next or something. And then it goes to, well, all they have is movie poster assets. There's no call outs or anything. And then, one company's doing it, then another company's getting it. Then all that went away for a little bit. We were talking about Hogwarts for a while, and then now it's kind of creeping back up. But, when you hear rumors and they're fairly consistent from different sources, they tend to bear out. And something like this, it's just bouncing around too much. I don't think I could really nail it down. And it may actually have been a greenlit project at some point, but maybe has fallen through now. And so that's why these rumors are persisting, but no one will claim responsibility.
But it's Dutch Pinball doing it. That's the thing. That's what's been the real thing for me. That it's that rumor. Yes, I've heard Stern doing it for a long time. Stern doing it. And then whatever, the rumor surfaced was it last year? It was midweek last week. Dutch Pinball. It may be Dutch Pinball.
Oh, it did hear a little rumbling. Yeah.
That did. I'm not too bothered with titles. I could take it or leave it. And do you know what? I look at Foo Fighters. I think anyone could have done it as well as Stern. But I didn't want them. I don't want them getting something like Back to the Future, which would be very much one of the dream things for me. And I just think, wow, if that company can get it,
can you imagine?
Flux capacitors, clock towers, DeLoreans. You'll be able to drive it.
Yeah. It'll probably come with plutonium.
It will. You'll be able to travel back in time. You'll be able to travel back in time and buy a Medieval Madness for $500.
Yeah. So, I mean, Lebowski came with that rug for Under the Machine. So would Back to the Future come with like flaming tire treads or something?
Yes.
And come with a hoverboard to stand on. Yeah, that's what it'll be.
There should be a gas pedal so you can rev up to 88 miles an hour and then plunge the ball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's going to be something. I mean, if Dutch get it, Dutch are so committed to what they do. We always say, whenever we're looking at a new machine, have they built the best machine that they could have done? And Dutch do. I mean, the Lebowski is just the best pinball that they could have made. And whatever they do next, I'm sure is going to be equally as good.
Yeah, just really hitting it out of the park.
Yeah, and to the point where I actually don't mind what they do because you can just tell they're so into Lebowski. Every quote is right, and they clearly love pinball. There's so much from other games in Lebowski as well. I just think whatever theme they choose, as long as I know Matrix was rumored for a while, and I think, you know what, in many respects I don't mind because they're not going to choose a theme that they don't like. They're gonna, and if they love it as much as they love Lebowski, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I'm going to do a video at some point. I asked for ideas for themes, of dream themes. What would be a dream theme? And I just, so many, be it Lost Boys or Blade or Close Encounters, and there's just
Gremlins.
There's so many. Well, we got a guy over here who's making. I don't know if you know this. Craig is making a Gremlins homebrew.
Oh, perfect. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's. I will pass you on his channel. He's doing. He's making it. He's got a YouTube channel, and he's making it from scratch. And he put a poll out there and said, "What should I make as my homebrew?" I can't remember his channel off the top of. I don't want to say. I think it's Craig Goodwin. I'll pass it on to you. Something like that. Very, very good. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, so I just think as long as they get a sort of dream theme. many dream themes have already been done. Star Wars is a dream theme.
Yeah, it is.
Terminator 2 is a dream theme. Many have been done. So as long as they get a dream theme, I think they'll absolutely kill it, and they'll do it absolute justice. Don, so what is your favourite game, mate?
Honestly, right now it's probably Lebowski. It's a mixture of it plays great. There's different ways to play it. I mean, and you can start with the code. You can start a game just playing 10 frames of bowling. Come on. And I put in the bootleg music mod that's floating out there, and so that brings in full lyrics to the songs and everything. So just the whole experience and the package and what it looks like sitting over there, fantastic games. But I mean, I've got a lot that I like. I made no secret of my love for things like Diner, Medieval Magnus, Kingpin, things like that. But yeah, for sure, I think right now if I had to pick something, it's hard to top Lebowski.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing. I'm not sure. It's hard. It's hard to say, what my favorite game is. At some point, I'm going to have to because I'm doing a video series on it. But but it might be. It's funny because all different things. It might be the greatest pinball machine ever made. But then again, I think Attack from Mars is the perfect game. I know you're more of a Medieval Madness convert, aren't you? I was again listening to you a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
You'll grow out of it. It'll be fine. You'll grow out of it one of these days. We all go through it.
Yeah. Did you go back to the simplicity of Elvira and the Party Monsters? With the jumping finger puppets. I mean, it's hard to say. But, yeah. It's hard to, we've got this burden of fantastic games though. I mean, Godzilla's unstoppable, Rush is amazing. I've got an LE behind me. But I love Star Wars. I got the premium, I got the hyperspace loop. And every time I hit that, it's one of the most satisfying things, in pinball for me.
It's interesting to hear you say that because, I mean, yes, there are a number of satisfying shots all across pinball. And, ones that you just think, oh, that's amazing. So one of my favorites is Katana Ramp in Deadpool. It just bang, bang, it just feels absolutely great. Right. And there are a number. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm agreeing. That's great.
But one thing I noticed about Lebowski is I think Lebowski got a single one of those shots in it. So I often wonder, what would be my top 20, 30 shots in pinball. I think and this is every testament to Lebowski, I don't think there's a single shot in there that would get in the top 20 shots in pinball. However, just the overall package is so wonderful. Mm-hmm. Just every shot means something. And it's so whilst it might not be the most twisty turny ramp like I don't know exactly what you mean, that loop in Star Wars might not have that in it. There's a reason for doing everything, and everything is cut in with the mode and the voiceover and what it might be with the character. And they've just built so much mood and so much momentum in every shot with the call outs and where you're trying to build. I think that's the thing. When I play Lebowski, I feel like I'm in the film a little bit. I feel a bit Lebowski's up without. I'm not drinking White Russians, obviously.
Can you imagine if you hated the film though? You'd have a totally different take from it.
You'd have to really hate the film, and then you just play it and spit the whole time, wouldn't you?
Well,
great game. I do have
that. I do have that. It's called Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah.
I love Iron Maiden.
I know you do.
Yeah, I know you do. Very good. Yeah, that's here next to Scooby.
Yeah, I'm putting off. I was gonna do a double upload. Actually, I was gonna do Iron Maiden and Jurassic Park as a double upload for the top 50. But I thought actually, no, I'll leave that for a little while. So I might be doing Munsters and something else. But I won't be. I don't know. Here's a bit of a spoiler if I tell you that Munsters will be finishing above Iron Maiden. But there you go.
Wow. That's bold.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready for the hate mail.
Oh, I love the theme and the look of that game more than the gameplay. But yeah, no, I can get the appreciation for it.
Sure. I wish I knew what the theme was. One minute I'm in ancient Egypt, another minute there's planes and Spitfires. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm looking for some bloke called Eddie. No guy, no one in the band is called Eddie. The whole thing is.
I thought they were all called Eddie.
Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know, and that loop at the top is rattly. No. Listen, it is a great game if you like that sort of thing. But it is what you say about theme. If the theme can put you off, and if you didn't like Lebowski, you'd think this is awful.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this dude and this Walter guy, and why is this woman going on about a vagina? So yeah, it's
we need like Barbie or Taylor Swift to come out and be like the sweetest shooting game ever. So like all these curmudgeons are forced to have a Taylor Swift game in their
that would be poetic justice, wouldn't it? Really, just to have the best shooting pinball in the world. Pink. Yeah. Barbie. Let's do it.
Don is being disingenuous here because this is the third time I've heard him mention Taylor Swift in the past week. All right,
I know he's got a little thing about.
I think they're called Swifties.
Tay. Well, you can't see my CD collection, can you? Okay.
Okay.
No, yes, I do. I think he might be a Swiftie, actually.
He's got a little thing going for Taylor Swift, definitely.
Yes. Well,
I'm not gonna hide it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple of questions before we wrap up.
Sure.
Would you possibly know what your I should have prepped you for this, really, so I do apologize. Would you possibly know what your best shot in pinball is? What your favorite shot is? You can think about that for a moment. All right. What I want to know is, have all your collection there.
Yeah.
Forget Lebowski because we've already discussed that. The first and last one to go out of that collection behind you.
First one, well, Halloween's on its way out. I got a buyer for it.
Yeah.
Love the game, but I've had it for 2 years now. It's probably the oldest one that I've had, so that one's going out. Lebowski's fairly bolted, as is Star Wars. So I think I'd get rid of LE first.
Okay. So Star Wars is bolted. Okay.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, it takes something compelling. It's fun when I'm in the right mood, and I got to hook up to the subwoofer. It's kicking, and it's Star Wars, and you play 5 games through it. You get the ramp a couple times. You go to bed satisfied. I like it. Satisfying shot in pinball. I kind of like the catapult of Medieval Madness when I launch it in there. That's fun for me. Do I want the chicken? Do I want the cow? There it goes. Boom. Shoots around. Tina Fey yells out. It's a good time,
Yeah. I do like Medieval Madness. It's just, it's up. It's up there. It's up.
It's suffered some slippage recently.
It has. No, it's good. Listen, Medieval Madness is a good game.
I'll tell you what's a satisfying shot. Any shot through a pop bumper nest into a wire form ramp, I like. Like when you get it on, Rush and you get the orbit or.
The trouble is it can be a harsh mistress. A harsh mistress.
No. It's when it comes around the other way. I don't like it. You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. But so on Rush, when it goes right to left and it's coming through, and it's the same with Aerosmith, which I love Aerosmith. It's both John Borg. I think they're both John Borg.
Yeah, when you exit through the pops, that's a little hard. But when you thread the needle right through them, and you're like, or maybe you graze one of them, but you cheat and you still get through there, and you're like, all right, that's it, game. I got you.
Sure. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And how are you? Obviously, I've heard you speak about it, but how are you feeling about Venom? Look, you got the premium coming. How you're very much looking forward to that? Yeah. Yeah,
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna undress it. I'm gonna powder coat the heck out of it, play it, stream it, and then find a new home for it.
Love it. I love that.
There's a man with an itinerary. We like that.
I really like the code, though. This is going to be a jump off point for it. It saves your progress, but really it only saves your progress once you reach a certain point. Like you get through the mini modes and you beat somebody, then that's what gets saved. It's not like you just start your next game off where your last one drained. So I'm excited to play through there several times, unlock the characters, experience the code of the game, and then see what they do next, probably around the time that Jaws comes out.
So you do think George is happening?
I've been hearing it from so many different places that's what I would be surprised.
Isn't it right up there though with Back to the Future? I mean, Jaws is one that's been rattling around for a long time.
Yeah, but I've heard rumors about like shot layouts and things. So it's a much more secure footing than Back to the Future.
Who do you hear is designing it?
Elwin, the GOAT. Oh. Yeah, I think he's up soon. Supposedly there's an extra flipper maybe at the bottom. I don't know if it's going to be like a Starship Troopers or just like a shark bite or something. But who knows? Everything else we're speculating. I would think if I was designing it, I'd have a pop bumper nest that looks like those floating yellow barrels.
Yes,
maybe
100%.
maybe you get to a mode and like that's active and there's a hurry up and you got to get up there to hit it to explode the shark. Maybe there's a shark field that crosses the play field. Maybe like Mick on a stick from Rolling Stones.
Yeah, absolutely integrated. Yeah, yes, I think there's a lot that can be done there. He will throw some innovation at it. That's the thing with Elwyn.
Yeah.
There will be something innovative there. There'll be something different, and I really do. I do think that's almost been Stern's most genius move in the last few years, is signing up Elwyn and then getting Jack Danger on board as well, because they do have the two best Well, they've actually got the three best pinball designers there. It's just one of them. Well, they've got George Gomez there, who who's for me is the GOAT. But I mean, I don't know what he's just. It's a bit like hiring Lewis Hamilton and asking him to drive your grandmother to the shop to get some milk. It's George Gomez needs to be designing games, not designing QR codes for an apron. Right. So he's such a good designer. I just love his games so much. But yeah, I think Stern getting Elwyn and then getting Jack Danger, who looks so talented. Yeah. I think.
But I mean, the 4 games we heard coming from them, it was going to be Foo Fighters, Venom, Jaws, and then Indiana Jones. So would they switch it up? Might Indy be next? Maybe that's ready to go. We'll see.
Would you? Well, I was going to say, would you get one? You'd probably say, yeah, I'm going to buy it and powder coat it and stream it and sell it.
So I decided, when I was, about 6 months ago, what if I just went in on the next 4 Sterns, no matter what they were, and just rotated them as they came out as an experiment to see if that's like a financially advisable way to maybe get to play the heck out of these new games, but then do it in a financially acceptable way.
Yes.
So far I'm halfway through and I still have Foo Fighters. So I don't know.
You'll end up with a 16 machine collection. It's like, my God.
Yeah. I have exactly this problem. I've got too many machines that I don't want to shift now. So what was the future for the podcast, Dom?
Yeah, so I'm streaming on YouTube more now. I've still been in what I call beta testing, as I'm still getting used to like the multi-camera format, getting all the equipment to work. But I think it's really working. So I'd like to get into some sort of consistent format with that. I'd like to do more content on YouTube. Just like, here's how to install a shaker motor. Here's this mod. I put it in, reviewing it. People are reaching out to me like, hey, I've got a mod I'm working on. Can I give it to you? Can you let people know what they think? And yeah, man, that's just more fun for me. All this just allows me to have even more fun in the hobby, and so, I'm looking at ways I can share that with other people. I like watching live streams of people give stuff away. So I do that. I try to live stream, on every Friday, and I've got shirts and stickers and all kinds of stuff I'm mailing out every week. It's just fun. So I'm glad this just gives me the opportunity to have fun in the hobby, and other people really seem to dig it too.
Well, we certainly do. There's no doubt about it. And I can't thank you enough for the way you've supported this channel. It's great. It's great to have someone across the pond to speak to, and I think really all power to you. And I think it's great. If you're going to venture into the streaming as you're doing, I think that's going to go really well for you. I'm sure the YouTube will go well. You've got I think your podcasts are amazing, by the way. I really are. I think was it 3 or 4 days? Honestly, I must have done 4 back to back, because Spotify's great like that. Spotify will just go one after the other, and it was actually you got me out of a bit of a pickle, actually, because I was doing a really long job to do, and it was sort of real menial task. This is great. And you know what? The day sailed by, and I've just been listening to your podcast. So, so I highly recommend it. The link will be in the description below. I'll put the link to Spotify and anything else that Don wants. Will you come and join us after the expo, mate?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Give us an update. Let us know what's been happening. Give us
perfect. Yeah. And I'm always reachable. Don's Pinball Podcast at Gmail. I'm Don's Pinball Podcast on YouTube. And I'm on the Patreon as well. If you want to throw $5 away a month, I'll send you free stickers. How about that?
There you go. Look, plenty of them. Yeah, absolutely. Don, thank you so much for joining us. Spence, thank you. Done all the lovely legwork and lined Don up. He's been an absolute superstar.
Oh, there was no legwork involved.
A legend.
No legend.
Cheers, boys. Yeah.